Guys, welcome back to Lure Fishing TV. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today is a bit of a special one. People who know me are aware that I'm a big fan of like really innovative products that kind of push boundaries, products that are designed to function and are not gimmicky, etc. And I have eyed up over the last few years this one product from this one brand in Japan, which has always caught my eye on the socials, always seen a few people fish it over in Japan, a few in America, and I always really liked it. And it was a lead product, and as soon as they announced the tungsten version of it to be released this June, so right now, brand new, I said, this is too good to be true. I need to get some into the UK. Need to get my hands onto them for myself to fish them and for you guys to fish them as well. I am speaking about the RUDIE'S Rock Game Sinker. Guys, this product is really and truly is something innovative. It is not just a different color of something, a slightly different shape of something, reinventing the wheel like many brands do, because there is obviously a lot of the things have just been perfected, but RUDIE really shows us it can be done better and it can be done much more functional. Guys, RUDIE'S has released a tungsten bean sinker. Now the tungsten bean sinker, as you can see, has a little rubber / plastic tube which kind of runs as a line guide on the top of the weight, and if you look closely you will see a little lock logo there, a little writing that says lock. What does that mean? Well, this little line guide rubber tube is removable. There we have it, and there we have the pure 97% tungsten sinker without the line guide. So guys, essentially what do we need to rig this is a leader, one of those little tubes, and a lure. I'm gonna use a nice chunky Craw. This is the Axe Craw in 4" from Rains. Now, essentially this is your rig done. And you'll be thinking, what the heck? What's he talking about? I've got a special tooth for that, guys. Don't try that at home. Well, here we go. We have our Craw and we have our little rubber line guide. And now we just thread this rubber and lock it back into place. Thread it into the weight and lock it back into place, and we have this. Well, now you might be asking, okay, so why isn't it just a why isn't there just a hole in the weight like other bean sinkers, and there is a rubberized inline in there to protect the line, to protect the leader, because there's other tungsten bean sinkers that have that? Well, this was now a 20-gram version, but the 5-gram version, as seen right here, has exactly the same sized locking mechanism. So now, without cutting any leaders, without having to open any knots, we can just change our weight to whatever we have. did you see how quickly I just changed it from 20 to 5 grams? How amazing is that, guys? And it sits in place like so. Guys, this is innovation. This is absolutely amazing. What do we use bean sinkers for? A bean sinker essentially is a Texas weight, or a bit of a mix between a Texas and a free weight. So it has the attributes of obviously Texas weight. You have the line running freely through. You can peg it if you want to. You don't have to. At the same time, the shape is slightly different. It's more like a bean or teardrop kind of shape. So it makes its way down vertically quicker than a bullet weight, which means in cover, you kind of, when you want to fish right close to cover or within cover, it doesn't kind of float towards you, but kind of goes vertically down, which is quite useful. And at the same time, they're really good for dragging because they give you that little bit more space. They have that little kind of bulge on the bottom, depending on the size of the weight, of course, but it gives you a little bit more space between the bottom and the lure when you drag it, and that's also really what they're made for as well. Dragging craws, dragging anything really, any creatures, any paddle tails. But the main thing about this is obviously that quick change mechanism that Rudi's come up with. And boop, here we go. Bang. This is now a 15. Back. So I've just removed the 5. So the little tube is still on there, as you can see. And I am just going to take the 15. I am going to slide it in this way. Boop. I'm going to lock it into place. Bop, like that. And you're fishing 15 grams. Guys, initially I was slightly concerned on how well this tube will hold and how well this locking mechanism will hold, especially on like power casts and upon like hitting it on the rocks really heavy, because obviously it's tungsten, so it will get abused down there. So what I did this morning, I took my 9.6 tie drift down the beach, and I used the 15 and 20 grams, and I absolutely powered them out, probably 70-80 yards, and I really banked them around some groins and some rocks in the deep water. I fished them in heavy currents, really dragged them over the pebble, and not a millimeter of movement on the line guides on the little tubes. They sit super securely. This is really well thought through. I am very impressed with this. I'm really happy that Lure Fishing is coming up with new stuff still. And yeah, the sizes we have are 5, 7, 10, 15, 20, 25, and they don't go any lower than 5. Obviously 5 will be kind of your canal, smaller rivers, medium to large rivers. Then you have your 7 and 10s for your medium to large rivers, and then you'll have your 15, 10 very large rivers, and starting to get into the salty stuff, the reservoir stuff, and then your 20, 25 super deep reservoirs, and your obviously your boat stuff from the shore as well, or sometimes if you're really fishing into deep water, from the boat, and if you're fishing into really deep water from the shore, your 20 grams might be useful as well sometimes. Obviously keep in mind it's tungsten, it is smaller than lead, so where you can fish 7 gram, 10 gram lead, quite often 5 gram tungsten will be enough, and so on, just because of the smaller profile, so it'll catch less drag of the current, etc. It'll fall quicker. So that's another advantage of tungsten. Let me just double check the specs here. On the 5 gram you get 4 weights, on the 7 gram you get 3 weights, same for the 10 and 15, for the 20 and for the 25 you get 2 weights in there. And yeah guys, what to use them with, obviously anything, yeah. Usually it's a bottom technique, it's a weight which is made for bottom technique, so the most kind of obvious things are, as already rigged, craws, creatures, etc. But don't be scared, take your paddle tails as well. especially the ones with very nice and soft, made from very nice and soft material with the thin tail roots, easy shiners, swing impacts, etc. If you drag them slowly over the bottom, that tail on the tail root will go and will start really sending out vibrations, and then if the fish thinks it's a craw, it's a fish, a dying fish, doesn't really matter, it'll nail it. At the same time, go use your pintails, especially if you want to use this as a free rig kind of thing and you want to jig it up into the mid water column a little bit and want to drop it down on the slack line a little bit, and then have a pintail just kind of falling behind it weightlessly. That's an absolute killer, especially now, guys, June, July, all over the summer and into early autumn. If you want to like free rig and get that free rig up into the mid water, drop it back down, but lower your rod tip a bit quicker, so your weight will make its way down very quick to the bottom, especially when it's tungsten in this shape, and create a nice kind of length of fluorocarbon between the weight and the lure, and that lure will just very nicely kind of flutter down, and that is when you get the hits. And when you feel that pull, obviously the line goes through the weight, so you'll feel that pull directly. It's not always a thump, sometimes it is, but sometimes it's just like a bit of a pull, and then please give it a good strike. If you then on direct strikes start losing fish, they might be a bit finicky. What you can do then is, when you feel that pull, give them a little bit of give. So give that rod tape, take that rod tip with the bite a little bit, almost with the bass fishing, with the black bass fishing, and then when they have really taken it in, then whack them, and you should hopefully hook them well. Yeah, I have a few ideas here what to fish them with. Keitech hog swing, hog impact, sorry, and 4-inch, nice creature that will crawl really well behind these. Then, like I just said, if you want to fish it like free rig style, definitely grab yourself some pintails for that. Absolutely use floating lures as well, floating craws, or like net style lures, little sticks, yeah, just behind there. If you can either peg it or not peg it. If it's pegged, it really is very similar to a Ned rig. It'll just stand up right behind it, and yeah, for very lethargic fish close to the bottom, either like really hot temperatures or really cold temperatures, when they're really hugging the bottom. Your paddle tails, like I said, obviously, yeah, you can just retrieve this rig as well. You can retrieve it right over the bottom, dragging. I really like very nice thin tail root and soft material when I drag paddle tails, because you're usually a bit kind of slower when you drag, and you kind of want that soft material because it starts working a bit quicker. And obviously just any craws. What do I have here? I'm going to link a few bits below as well. A DoLive craw, like a slightly buoyant butt sinking or kind of a neutral craw, or sinking craw as well, because obviously when you have that and you use that free rig technique, you'll have that kind of floating really nice and slowly behind the weight when the weight is already sitting on the bottom, or you just drag it right, the weight right on the lure, and you be really close to the bottom, really in between the stones, and kind of really get the attention with that tungsten clonk, 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 and those perch going, what is happening? And then just sucking that up. And guys, I've decided to pack them this way, just so when you're on the water, when you arrive on the water, you have a little compartment with the little line guides. There. And then keep the weight separately, so all you have to do when you want to rig up, you just grab off the little, and you know obviously you want to fish that bean sinker, you just grab up one of the line guides, bang, put them onto your leader. Then you can travel really well just with that. You don't have any tungsten weight that's smashing against your blank as well, which is very useful, especially if you're fishing high grade carbon and tungsten. They're really not good friends, those two. And then you just grab whatever weight you think you need and just pop it on there. Let's say, okay, I am fishing a medium river, deep river, let's say here, heavy current, 10 gram tungsten, bang, we're all ready to rumble, push, lock, ready. Oh no, I'm not getting enough kind of dropping phase. I am really too close to the bottom at all times. I'm scared I'm gonna snag, etc. This is not correct. It's off already. Let's try 5 grams. No cutting, no nothing. There we go, bang, locked in place. And you're fishing 5 grams. That's how easy it is, guys. Guys, I'm super chuffed that I have them in stock for you now. Really a product that makes the difference, in my opinion. We have some limited stock available now, but if the stock is getting low, we can reorder really quickly. So don't be shy, guys. Grab yourself a few of the new RUDIE'S Japan Tungsten Rock Game Sinkers. They're a game changer.